Hey everybody, just doing a little bit of a kind of late in the evening for me Bitcoin and market update. So just jumping on to Bitcoin first. That's just what we're going to focus on, of course, as always. Looking at the local stuff here for the long short ratios, obviously major breakdowns from yesterday as we've had some nice upside in the local price action. Retail coming back in and depress the red button, so we'll see how that affects everything in the future because the retail starting to flip bearish looks better and better, especially once we get through that 50-50 threshold to potentially go much higher. On the funding rate side, rather neutral at the moment, but OKX is definitely an outlier, both on token margin and USDT. Definitely supporting the move. DYDX as well. And yeah, outside of that, it's relatively neutral. It was a bit better earlier this morning, but it's still not bad. At least there's not a lot of pressure. And the other thing too, the short liquidity order book has been completely built back. So that being said, looking at the liquidity delta on spot and then on perpetuals. So spot, you still have some good, decent amount of selling here locally. It's rather flat on the perpetual side. So it's actually nice that we're having a lower volatility today, but the market's been reacting pretty nicely to it across the board. Looking for some more significant kind of overlapping features, but for right now, it's relatively flat, which is good. So on the liquidation side, this is actually quite interesting. So we did do the big drive into the lows. Obviously, I think if we have one final nuke out, we're not free from it yet. I think we would go somewhere like 76, or maybe a wick to 75. But right above us, right up in here to this like 92K, we have a decent amount of like local liquidations. If we grab this and then start rejecting, I think that'd be a snap little short to come back down to grab the stuff at 85. As long as we're holding above 86.5 on the price action here, this is the hip that matters. As long as we're holding above that, it looks relatively good. If we flip that bearishly, we go straight down to 84 and to retest all this structure. The nice thing is there's very little liquidation, so we might actually hold it first test, but what did we see from the previous price action? Well, wait for a bounce, right? Anyways, looking at the liquidity on the order book side, those big orders that were in have mostly been pulled. There was actually some guys who got filled with some pretty good big sized longs. I would expect they've probably taken some decent profit on these, but they're mostly pulled. It's a relatively flat zone with tilting to some local short limit orders just resting above price, and they're not massive by any chance. In the local, really low time frame stuff, we do have a nice little block here right at 80, call it 89.4. So if we do have some retests in this area, I want to see that kind of hold. Like I said, if we do start breaking down, losing levels, it should happen probably on the loss of 86.5. That's like the more major one. In any case, looking over to the chart for the kind of plan in this area, what did we say yesterday? Well, it's really simple. We want to see a gain of 86.5. We got the gain at 86.5, gain that hip, nice bullish back test. And now we created a support zone at the daily open to potentially continue. That like 92K resistance. Yeah, we've got some underside retesting of stuff all the way up towards the yearly open. The real question here is if we can actually hold that low and the higher low. And we'll know for sure if we're actually going to start seeing some trending upside if we create some new highs that get back above some previous highs. So if we do that, that is like secondary confirmation of trend change back up, and you're looking to bid the higher lows as we continue. In the local move, like, yeah, not too much to say other than we're a little bit, we're seeing some pretty good resistance here. There's some pretty good big wicks to the upside. If you see some lower time frame breakdown, you want to see some retest back down towards 88.3, 88.4, and the loss of this level would take you back down towards the daily, where you want to see big holds because we do need a good back test in the daily open. So in general, you've got some grinding upside price action. You've got some pretty decent levels, especially down here at 86.5 to hold this structure. This is really the key to this entire move, is holding this higher low. If you lose it, right? So the big thing here is you either hold that low, which is kind of key to the structure. If you don't hold it, you want to look to short the failure back towards the March open, back towards the structure. The big kind of like long, I think that's still in play, is there's a potential hold of the March open as a higher low. If we lose this block structure, we are going to 80K. That's just the simple way out of it. So I think tentatively, you're looking for, we backtest some stuff. We haven't really backtested the daily open on any measurable time frame. As long as we higher low it off that, I want to see some nice reactions into this kind of swing structure at 92.5, potentially all the way up towards 93.5 with the yearly open. I think if we go up there now without testing stuff lower, but we should get a big rejection off of it, because that's kind of the key level of this whole structure. If we lose the low at the daily open and lose this block here, very simply, you change your bias locally back down towards March and then potentially lower. The big thing that's still hanging over ahead is, well, there's an untested level below us. We got 96K, potentially down even to like 95.5, or sorry, 76K to 75.5. Basically, there's still a CME gap effectively from this wick down here. Not filled. There's still liquidity and liquidations. So, and there's a ton of wrestling limit longs as to potentially hold price. So we're not out of the woods yet. The main level to get back above, obviously, we want to create a new high here. The higher time frame play is really simple. Set an alert at 96.5. Anytime we start regaining 96.5, it opens up all of the short liquidations that would easily take you well above 100K. Until that happens, your higher time frame breaking down after losing range lows. So you've done a retest, kind of confirming it. You've still got priority down, higher time frame. You need to see regains of level. If you don't get that, you're going to see some more capitulation and some more pain. So that's it. Take it easy. Catch you tomorrow.